Am I live? I am live. Dr. Cindy here with the Essential Therapies for Essential Chats number 2. And this is a special day because not only is the sun shining, finally, it's my birthday. Yay! I've always loved birthdays, and it's May Day. It's usually a shift in the weather, and this week, today, it certainly is. So one thing I wanted to talk about, this has been a little bit up and down day already for me. It started last night. I thought I could talk with you about this as far as our essential chat. And I was doing some very deep stretching with our April fascia challenge. And I was doing it for a long time and it felt really, really good. And then I had to take these pictures for it to put on the post for the group and whatnot. So I was in there a little bit longer than I would have been otherwise. And so towards the end, it started really being a little bit too long, but I had to get these pictures done. So normally, I would have gotten out of the position. What I want to talk about is managing our reaction to what happens to things, because when I got out of that position last night after finally getting, the post finished, I had some pain. I had some pain down into my left buttock, which sometimes can be, and it was a little bit odd. It felt like a little bit nerve-ish, like something was being compressed. And what would start to happen when I'd have a pain like this many years ago, before I learned how to manage those reactions, was I would start to freak out. You ever do that? You ever do something and just be like, oh no, I hurt myself and I'm not going to be able to do this. And then this whole slew of things starts coming through, and there's an avalanche of thoughts. And the avalanche of thoughts are usually pretty low thoughts, and they bring you down and they bring your vibrational frequency down, and your whole energy is just slumped, and it can snowball. I'm an expert at this. I've done it my whole life about things. I'm much better over recent years, but I'm a very passionate and expressive person, right? And I feel things very deeply, and I see this a lot in my patients with self-care. Or if you hurt yourself, or maybe you didn't do as much self-care as you should, and then you have a reaction, you start to just not know what to do. So what I did last night, which is what I would have my patients do, is realize, okay, that could be, maybe it could be some sort of a disc issue from being in that flex position for quite some time, or maybe not. But if it is, what would I do? And I did some prone exercises, propping up on my elbows. I decided to do the inversion table and did these for quite some time to try to work through this space. And I could still feel it, but I watched my reaction. So that was the biggest thing. Instead of freaking out about it, I watched how I felt about it. And the fear that was coming up is that, oh no, I've reacted this. I know it'll be okay, but then sometimes it'll be a few days or a week or whatever of dealing with it. And I just watched it, and I didn't let it take hold. And I just kept telling myself, it's fine, it's totally fine. And then I realized, this was really pulling into even my scar, and it was pulling down into the hip. So it's probably from that, because, the left brain gets in there, which is channel 5 thinking, and because channel 3 thinking is about being in the present and whatnot. So I just was very calm about it. I went to bed doing a little bit more self-care, and this morning it's totally gone. And I talked myself down from a reaction of it. Now, this morning, something similar happened as I've been, applying for trying to get these loans and whatnot, and for this PPP loan. And, I know the money is getting out there and people are getting it, but nothing's shown up yet for me or essential therapy. So I wasn't as good about watching my reaction with that as I am with my body and my self-care. So, one thing led to another, and I found out just a little bit ago that actually we are approved for the PPP loan, which will help us very much, and it will be coming through in the next 10 days or so. So I felt relief. And so I was able to take that as a lesson and see, like, wow, look at how I managed my reaction with my body pain, because I'm much more familiar with that and much better at dealing with that. And I was able to talk myself into a higher vibration, a frequency of just knowing that it was going to be okay, and not allowing myself to expect the worst. And instead, I was expecting the best. And what I didn't do this morning regarding the money thing is I did not expect the best. I was expecting the worst. And because that's kind of my pattern with money my whole life. So I allowed myself to go down that path of despair and, why does this happen and what lesson do I need to learn? And the lesson that I learned was that I need to watch my reaction and that I can choose. And even earlier in it, I was kept thinking, why can I choose a different thought? I need to choose a different thought, and it just wasn't working. And I think what helped me switch it was I was able to say, what's below that feeling? What's below that? And I was able to identify the emotion and the feeling below that and realize that that's a pattern of mine and that I don't need to grab onto that. I can shift it and I can trust. So thank you to everyone who kind of helped me with that this morning. We all have our little angels, right? And I have many. And thanks to those of you who are watching these. So my message in our Essential Chat here today is to manage our reactions to things. And we do that by watching and trying to be like a third person, like there's your inner self, your subconscious self, your conscious self, and then like someone else. So try to look at it from a different set of eyes. And you know what? If you can't get out of it yourself, if you can't get out of that thinking alone, grab someone who can help you. An accountability person, a support person, a friend, even me. I'm here to help, especially when it comes to things in my expertise, and that's what I want to do. So I'm having a great birthday. Thank you for watching, and that was Essential Chat number 2. Bye-bye.